Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with an Irelia commentary guide, and now, obviously I don't play Irelia, and obviously, actually it's not that obvious. Actually it is, because there's Blitzcrank on both teams. This is a PvP match, this is not a ranked match, because I wouldn't really play a champion I don't really know how to play, especially those mechanically difficult ones like Irelia in ranked, and first time in ranked. So yeah, so here we have Irelia, and we're playing Irelia mid. Now, I've said that I think Irelia is S plus tier in mid, and I still do think that that is the case, and I do think Irelia is really strong at the moment. She was always really strong if you could play her, but now that she got a buff, with the cooldown on her Q reduced by 2 seconds, even on not too good Irelia players like myself, for example, you can still kind of cover up for your mistakes just because of how low the cooldown is. So sort of if you don't get a reset on your Q, you can sort of, you know, stall it out and try to get back your cooldown. Now, unfortunately, I'm up against an Akshan, which is a pretty horrible matchup for me because obviously I'm playing melee into ranged. So what that basically means is that he can very easily harass me and poke me, which is what you guys are witnessing here. And I can't really do anything about it except to all in him or, you know, carry out a long and heavy trade. Of course, I could try a short trade with him as well, but it doesn't really work too well because generally when you are ranged, it's always going to help. Here he gets way too aggressive, and Evelyn happens to be in the area, so Evelyn does manage to pick up the first blood. If Evelyn wasn't there, likely, I feel what likely would have happened is I would have died, but I would have gotten the return kill on him. So anyways, I think the Akshan was way too aggressive there, way too bloodthirsty there. So anyways, we get a huge advantage because we get the assist on the first blood, and we do manage to push in the wave, so he's gonna lose like a minion or two. Now obviously in Wild Rift, the respawn timer is really short, and in mid lane, which is a very short lane, you can get back to the lane really fast, so he's not going to lose out on too much. But yeah, so yeah, Irelia is just really very strong at the current point in time. I really think that she is one of the best mid laners you can play now, and even in like the top lane or jungle, she is just really good. I don't think she's like S plus tier in top lane or jungle because the top lane matchups aren't too good. And I don't really like her jungle clear, although I see a lot of Irelia people you know, playing jungle, probably because they're already good at Irelia, so playing Irelia in the jungle just makes sense. Here Evelyn goes a little bit too aggressive, getting off the charm under the tower. Here I get the stun off under the tower, I ult him and pretty much ult in him under the tower, but I do die to the tower. So basically we have the inverse situation where instead of him, you know, diving me under the tower, I'm diving him under the tower, and Evelyn dies as well, which is a bit unfortunate. Now, I didn't really think that was a good idea, but I wanted to see how much damage Irelia could do, because after all, this is just a normal game, and you know, it's not that I'm playing this match purposely to make Irelia content. I'm really playing this match to really test out and see how strong Irelia really is. So obviously, especially in normal games, you want to do a little bit of limit testing. You want to see how much damage you can and cannot do. If I end up just diving him and dying there without actually, you know, killing him, then, you know, I would know that, you know, Irelia doesn't actually do that much damage and you can't, you know, make plays like that. Or rather, when I see an Irelia up against me, I know that she can make plays like that. If not, she will die. Something like that. Because obviously, I wouldn't really be playing Irelia in ranked. It's more like I will see Irelias in ranked. And yeah, so here, Evelyn is basically just camping mid lane, which of course is really good for me. Sucks for the Akshan. But yeah, Evelyn's just camping the mid lane. So, you know, even though she's not necessarily always just going for the kill, I mean she is, but in this scenario it's really hard because he's under the tower. Like just the fact that she's here and, you know, putting down pressure on, you know, Akshan is really huge for me. So it, of course, in the isolated 1v1 matchup, pretty much unless I all in Akshan, I pretty much lose to Akshan, you know, in the neutral game, because I can't really do anything to him in the neutral game, whereas he can chuck out his boomerangs and just poke me in the neutral game. So basically, Evelyn is helping me to relieve a whole lot of pressure. Now, of course, this wouldn't be really the case in every single matchup that you play. Obviously, your jungle isn't always going to be camping your lane, and you know, you might be camped by the enemy jungle permanently, or you might have no jungle attention at all from either side. So you can't always, you know, expect to have this in every game. But in this game, I was fortunate enough to have it. Now, if I didn't get the jungle attention from Evelyn, pretty much I would just be playing safe and waiting for an opportunity to all in or roam and get a kill, because you know, as I said, you know, you don't want to just let Akshan auto attack you for free. So here I was thinking of roaming top, but it turns out that they already got the kill secured. I saw the writing on the wall, so I didn't bother walking all the way out there. Here I wait for Akshan to use his boomerang, so I at least have some form of a little bit of advantage before I walk out of the bush. Here I'm getting the resets onto the minions to charge up my passive, but Evelyn scares him away by putting the charm onto him. Regardless, the mountain dragon is up, and we're going to be going for the mountain dragon. So nothing too much interesting else is happening on the map. Now mountain dragon is like just the least important dragon in general. Rengar comes in, flashes over for some flashes to the right, to our left, his right for some reason. I'm not sure if he was trying to flash the wall to steal or what, but that was just really strange by Rengar. Rengar jumps in again, gets charmed. I ult him for the kill. Blitzcrank walks into all 4 people, and he's gonna die as well. I get another kill. So a little bit of a mess up by the enemy team there. Not too sure what the goal was there. Like if Rengar flashed in and tried to steal, I would get it, but Rengar kind of flashed in a weird direction, and the team committed to the play afterwards. So that was a little bit strange by the enemy team. But here, okay, I managed to finally hit the stun onto the Akshan. Here I tried to go in to get the kill, but he does manage to get to the fruit, and that's why I wasn't able to kill immediately. We do eventually get the kill, but Rengar unfortunately ults straight down mid lane and finishes me off, and then gets a kill onto the Evelyn. So not really that's not really the intention, of course. Obviously no one really intends to die. So but yeah, so in the meantime, we're gonna take a look at this Karma top, which is going for like a tanky build of Iceborne Gauntlet first item, which I think is pretty strange. I think as Karma, you would either just build support or you would just build damage. I don't really know why you would really want to build tank, but in this matchup against Graves, it's pretty alright matchup for Karma. I mean, you know, Graves is melee, or he's not melee, he's ranged, but he can barely get into range to do anything. So here, you guys can see the all-in from Irelia. Now, if the tower wasn't there, obviously that would be a kill, no questions asked. Even with the tower, I took like 2 tower shots. I nearly killed him. Of course, I nearly died as well, but that was a really close one. Evelyn trying to finish the job, but she isn't able to do so. Alright, so here I'm going to briefly go through the build of Irelia. I'm 3-2 and 3 at the moment. As you guys can see, I started off with the Blade of the Rune King. Now, I feel Blade of the Rune King is a really good item to start on because, firstly, it's cheaper than you know, Divine Sunderer, and it's cheaper than Triforce. So you can get to your first item prospect a lot more quickly. And in a 1v1, Blade of the Rune King is really strong because obviously it gives you that lifesteal, gives you that attack speed, and you know, it gives you that drain passive, so it's gonna be really good in a 1v1 scenario. So here I'm going to be roaming up. Lucian has backed already, but Blitzcrank not so lucky, so I follow him with my Q, and I do manage to get the kill on him. So after going for Blade of the Rune King, you either go for a Triforce or a Divine Sunderer. Like I said, it kind of depends on the matchup. If you are against, you know, a tanky-ish team comp, you should be going for Divine Sunderer, but if you're going for a squishy team comp, you can go for Blade of the Rune King. Now, in this match, although I'm against a relatively squishy team comp, I do end up going for Divine Sunderer because I just wanted to see how strong Divine Sunderer was. Besides, Blitzcrank is, you know, tanky-ish. Graves is kind of tanky-ish as well, and Rengar can be tanky-ish if he builds toward that direction, which I think in this match he does go for Triforce and Death's Dance kind of build, not like a full-on like assassin like Duskblade kind of build. So I do think, you know, in this match it is not really the worst. Here Graves is super duper overextended. I hit him with everything and I get a very easy kill. No idea why Graves is so far up in the lane. Like, it's just such a free kill if anyone from my team just roams over and makes it a 2v1 for the Graves. So here Divine Sunderer has been acquired, and now for the last 3 items, it's basically gonna be Death's Dance, Guardian Angel, and Steric's Gauge, in whichever order is more appropriate for the game. Now in this game, I believe I go for Death's Dance first because the entire enemy team is AD except for the Blitzcrank, so getting the armor from that Death's Dance, and of course with the passive as well, is going to bring so much value. Of course, you could say the same for GA and GA's armor, but of course Death's Dance is gonna make you a whole lot more tanky against AD champions. So I think I go for Death's Dance first, and then whether to go for like Sterix Gauge or GA Nyx is those last three items order can be swapped around depending on the matches. You can go for like a Sterix Gauge third item and like a GA last item, that kind of thing depending on the situation. Here we get a kill onto the overextended Graves again. Here I try to ult the Akshan and try to 1v1 the Akshan, but he's ranged, so I can't really catch up to him if I don't have my dash. If I had my dash, he would easily be dead, but unfortunately that's not really the case. So I do die against the Akshan. Here Karma on the chase for Varus. Karma doesn't really do damage though because she has the Iceborne Gauntlet, so she doesn't really do all that much damage. So she's sort of there a lot more for the utility than the damage. In which case, why not just build support? It'll be a lot more helpful for your team. So yeah. Blitzcrank hooks the other Blitzcrank, and we have a whole lot of shenanigans with the Karma ult. Here I'm respawning out of the base, coming toward the fight. Karma does die, Blitzcrank getting chased, but Lucian is here for the backup, and he pops the culling, gets a little bit of damage onto Blitzcrank and Varus. And here I'm just trying to stack up my passive if possible, but it's very not possible with Blitzcrank and Lucian both trying to attack the minions as well. So some champions do need to stack up their passive on minions, so try not to take the minions if you have a champion like that on your team. So here it's sort of becoming a mini ARM. Here I'm still trying to stack up my passive, but it's not really working out. And I don't want to dash straight into those minions because I don't want to get hooked by Blitzcrank under tower. Blitzcrank himself instead gets hooked by our Blitzcrank. Now that sentence was pretty complicated, but yeah. So he dies. I get another free kill. And enemy team puts down Rift Herald in the bot lane. Rengar does die, going in way too deep again. Actually not again, that was the Graves. So Rengar goes in a little bit too deep. He does manage to put down the Herald before he dies though, and does manage to pick up the tower. So I guess he was willing to trade the tower. So here I managed to hit my stun and my ult onto the Akshan. And if you see, if you can manage to hit your ult in combo successfully, meaning hitting your Flawless Duet, which is your E, and hitting your Vanguard's Edge, your ultimate. If you can hit both of those and get double reset onto your Q and get and Q a third time onto single target, that's automatically like 3 stacks. You can pretty much 1v1 anybody in the game pretty much. Now of course if you don't hit your skills, then it's a completely different story. Here I try to try to stun the Rengar, but it doesn't really work out. I basically get chain CC'd by the Rengar route, then the Varus route, and I do manage to stun both of them. I can't run at this point because Varus could easily snipe me with an arrow, and Rengar could just chase after me. So I decide to attempt to go back in, although I know that's never gonna work, but it's better than running away. So I attempt to go back in, and of course I die. So here the Ocean Dragon is up, so I see my team posturing around the Ocean Dragon. Rengar does get the charm put on him by the Evelyn, and he runs away because he doesn't want to get charmed. Here there's another 1v1 between the Graves and Karma in the bot lane. But yeah, so here Akshan rotates over to get the kill onto the Karma, and Karma goes down. My team is focusing on getting the dragon. I was thinking of going there at first, but as you can see, I changed my path to go to the bot lane because if I don't defend the bot lane, it's pretty much a free inhibitor for them because the rest of my team is at the Baron. Same goes for the mid lane. I don't want them to get a mid lane tier 2, so I'm going to of course come over and clear the wave. On the flip side, the bot wave is crashing into the inhibitor tower. Actually it isn't because our minion wave came out just in the nick of time. I knew that they'll be somewhere in here, and I'm interested in fighting the Akshan and the Varus, who are two very squishy targets. But I don't actually end up hitting my E, so I'm just gonna back off. You need to be hitting your skills on Irelia if you want to be doing the damage, which I do about half the time, which obviously isn't too good, but obviously I'm not an Irelia player, so it's not the worst in the world. I'm trying my best. But yeah, I completed the Death's Dance, and as you guys saw from just now, I had my stasis from the start. Because obviously stasis on Irelia is going to be very, very helpful. Obviously, especially on a kind of noob Irelia like me, when you miss, or not miss, but you don't get a reset on your Q, you can stasis and try to wait out the cooldown, which will be able to wait out a significant amount of the cooldown. So There is that. So here, I see people all just A-ramming it again. I see Graves on the way down. So here I'm just waiting for Graves because I know I can 1v1 the Graves pretty easily. I don't see him coming down, so I walk out and then I see him. I miss my flawless duet yet again. And here Graves coming in for the collapse. Akshan coming in from the other side. Rengar is coming in as well. Here, popping the stasis as you guys can see. And that allows us to turn the fight. So here, boom. Evelyn gets a double onto Rengar and Akshan has to hightail it out of there. So you guys can see, obviously, Stasis, we all already know. Stasis is a really strong enchant. So here, I'm focusing the minions and not the tower so I can get stacks on my passive to get more attack speed. And also, of course, to maintain my passive. And here I'm just going to clear out the minions and steal the fruit. So I have no vision on the enemy team, so I of course cannot continue pushing blindly like that Graves, so I'm gonna just recall and build up towards my Guardian Angel. So in this match, I decided to go for GA, and I decided to go for Death's Dance, then GA, then Starix Gauge. Obviously, the Death's Dance, because it brings so much value in a match where everybody in the enemy team is AD, and you know the same, actually kind of same goes for the GA where I can stack a little bit more armor, but more so, of course, for the revive passive. Because basically in my team, me and Evelyn are doing well, and the rest of the team is not doing too hot. So, you know, I feel like this might be the kind of game that I have to carry. So, obviously giving myself the GA is going to be really helpful in my efforts to not die. So, Karma goes in very deep, flashes in for the root, and we find ourselves in sort of another ARAM. So, here I get a huge 3-man ultimate dashing across multiple people. And again, dashing to the Varus for the double. And as you can see, I'm still at full health after all that, and after diving them under the tower. So you get a whole lot of sustain from the Divine Sunderer. So Divine Sunderer really makes Irelia pretty tanky. But of course, the Triforce works really well on Irelia as well, because she does want that attack speed, and I get a low battery notification there. So let's pretend that didn't happen. And here Rengar jumps in to get the kill on the Karma, but he trades his own life for it, so not really that worth it for him, considering Karma on our team is kind of not doing too well. Excuse me. So here Akshan tries to go in on me, so I just hit him with my ultimate, and we finish off the kill under the tower. So at this point in time, Irelia is so strong that I pretty much can dive anyone 1v1 under the tower so long as I hit my steal. I think I can even 1v2 any 2 champions on the enemy team. Under the tower, maybe, I'm not too sure, but I don't think we'll be finding out. So here, I'm just going to clear up the minion wave. Graves foolishly comes over, and I'm just going to run him down, like as you guys can see here. Easy kill onto the Graves. You never want to run into a full stack Irelia. If Irelia already has full stacks and you get anywhere near her, she can just go onto you and you know, give you a world of hurt, because she gets insane amounts of attack speed and damage. So here the fight is very extended. So here I'm just going to ult the Blitzcrank to get the kill onto Blitzcrank. Rengar and Varus are running out of there. Lucian goes in a little bit too deep, and Blitzcrank manages to pull the Rengar. I try to go in. I'm running out of mana, so I can't really stay and fight any longer because I can't really cast my spells. So I have to, of course, recall and reset to get myself some mana, as well as probably getting the GA and building toward my Starix Gauge. So here I pick up my GA, and I'm going to pick up a BF Sword, of course building towards the Starix Gauge. And my team is going for the Elder Dragon, of course, because Elder Dragon is alive. Obviously, we want to get the Elder Dragon. But the Evelyn is dead at the moment, so that is not the best idea, which is why I'm pinging to retreat, because it's gonna be like an easy steal for the Rengar if we just go straight for the Elder Dragon. Now here, to alleviate my mana problems, I decide to take the blue buff, which is gonna of course help me with my mana regen. We just saw Graves back, so we know, actually Graves did not back, Graves cancelled the back, and Graves is still around. We see Akshan over there. Here Blitzcrank actually spots me out, and of course he sees that, but he doesn't even try to hook me, which I found pretty strange. But yes, I missed yet another flawless duet. So here Blitzcrank hooks in the middle between the uprights, and Graves gets caught by the charm, gets caught by the flawless duet, and gets killed by us. Here I try to ult the Varus. I do actually manage to ult the Varus. I flash over. try to get onto the Varus. There we go, onto the Varus. There, get the kill onto Varus. And I'm trying to get the Rengar's GA. And we end up trading GAs. He dies, and I die as well. I missed the flawless duet yet again. That skill is deceptively hard to hit. So Akshan manages to get away. I stasis to survive, and I'm gonna just recall and you know, regain some of my resources. In the meantime, Lucian is soloing the dragon, so I'm picking the Evelyn to help out the Lucian. I finish up my Sterex Gauge, so now I'm at full build with my Sterex Gauge completed, and I don't think my team needs help with the dragon, so I'm instead gonna just clear out the bot lane, which is permanently pushing apparently, so that you know, our inhibitor doesn't take any unnecessary damage, and of course, getting a wave is also gonna be a good thing. So here we do get the Elder Cloud Dragon, and I'm just going to pick up the red buff as well. Of course, Evelyn is actually technically carrying the game together with me, but red buff isn't really very good on Evelyn, so I'm just going to take the red buff. Here I'm going to continue pushing because I can see at least three to four members of the enemy team is in mid lane. Now we can only see 2 of them. Actually, now we see Akshan join the party, so can see up to 3 of them in the mid lane already. So here I'm just going to keep on pushing. Of course, I put a ward to see if anybody is coming. Here I'm trying to stack up my passive so I can take down the tower faster. And no one is responding to me, so here I'm just carrying out basically a split push operation. And Lucian is kind of doing the same thing. Still, we have 3 people in mid. 1 person is dead. 2 people on the enemy team are dead now. So no one is really going to stop me from pushing this tower. So here I'm just going to keep on going. There's no real reason to stop. Rengar has decided to go top to stop the Lucian, so which means that I can pretty much just continue on by myself. So here I'm just taking the tower at a very rapid rate. Akshan shows up to the party. Graves shows up to the party when he's 1 HP, so I'm just gonna kill him. No idea what he's thinking there. I go in on Akshan, out the Akshan. As you can see, easy 1v1 on the Akshan under the tower. Nothing he can really do about it. Here I just rapidly clear the wave as well with all the resets. And here I'm just going to focus the base, of course. Blitzcrank flashes in. Here I'm just pretty much distracting the Blitzcrank while the Lucian tries to end the game. I get going for the resets on the minions for the lifesteal as well, and Lucian ends the game as intended. And yeah, so you guys can see Irelia is really strong even when you're not too good at Irelia like me. So here you can see we did pretty well for our team. As usual, I'll leave you guys with the stats. So thank you guys for watching the video, and goodbye.